We're here in Croke Park to pick the Hurling and Football All-Stars. This is the 46th year of them, a scheme started by journalists with the backing of the GAA back in 1971. So it's one of the oldest schemes in Irish sport. I think, my 33rd year of being a selector in the All-Stars, which so I've seen a lot of changes and a lot of debates, a lot of arguments, and some great times and great tours and some great players in that period. It's a scheme that it's still the most prestigious scheme in the GAA by a mile, because it's the one that players want to win. Get on the All-Star is still a great honour for any player.
The president of the association chairs the selection committee, and the members of the committee are all made up of well-known journalists from print and from radio and from television. They all come together, they all have great opinions, but more than that, I'm absolutely impressed by the amount of homework these lads do, the amount of time they have researched. They don't just come in and value a player because they like the style of him in one or two games. They watch the performance over the league, they watch their performances in club, and they watch their performances with championship.
This is my first year being involved in an All-Star selection committee. I was here helping to pick the hurling team, so yes, great honour. I mean, you would have grown up seeing the posters of All-Star teams on the walls of bars and things like that, and they were your heroes growing up, these people, and such an honour for the players to be selected. So to be part of selecting them is a fair old responsibility and something you take seriously and take a bit of pride in being involved in it, I suppose.
This year is the 25th anniversary of my first involvement in an All-Stars selection. In the early days, for a start, the selection committee was enormous. I think at its last count, there were something like 24 people in the room. Also, and you tend to forget these things as society kind of moves on, but you were allowed smoke in the selection meeting, so you could hardly see each other by the end of it. It could get kind of hot and heavy because there hadn't really been any other meetings or any other kind of exchanges of information along the way. Whereas now, with the greater ease of communications, we email in kind of running selections at the end of the league, at the end of the provincial championships, and then we meet up for a nominations meeting when the All-Ireland Championship is over. And then after the nominations meeting, you have the actual selection meeting itself.
I'm currently lucky enough to be secretary to the scheme, in that I look after the administration and the organisation of the meetings, the collation of the submissions from the journalists, but I had the good fortune to also have been involved in it as a scribe, as a working journalist for 7 or 8 years, and it was a great privilege. So in recent years, as relations have proved very warm and beneficial, mutually beneficial to the GAA and the GPA, the two schemes merged. The GPA had their own scheme, and I think most people would have accepted that there was far more sense in there being one scheme, and it adds to the gravitas and the kudos of the awards. The players have retained, they pick the player of the year, so the journalists would short list 3 players of the year, 3 young players of the year, and they would go to the wider GPA membership base, and they would select the players of the year, as will be announced live on Friday evening after the events.
Tá mission is marán an All-Stars le beidir chúg bbliana déag nó sé bliana déag mar onadaí ag RTE Raidió na Gaeltachta mar a móhan tú críomh na héireann. An dár a bún is málet agus de anam ná bheith at the All-Star. Chuile imród is riamh a laurmelób, is sprálób an gradam seo ó bhuachans agus tá súlagam nach tú go deire leis go deo.